Welcome back to your favorite podcast. Hi, Adam.
Hi, Ryan. How's it going?
I'm juiced up today. I'm on the road. You're not even home in your little home studio. This is a very makeshift set, but some might say this is the best set in blue-blooded history because both of our cameras and our laptops are very clear, and the microphones are fantastic. I'm using my shotgun mic for my camera with a USB-C on top of, and my computer is on top of a couch cushion on top of a dresser on wheels.
Yep.
In Ames, Iowa.
I am at my in-laws' house in Manalapan, New Jersey. Shout out Manalapan.
Shout out.
And the microphone is in the top drawer of a nightstand, which is like at my chest level on the chair. So we are hacking this together, baby.
Listen, like I said, some might say this is the best production set in the history of the show, in the short history of the show. We'll see how it sounds afterwards because right now we have no idea. All I see and hear you.
I mean, Ryan, ball is life.
Ball is life. I'm in Iowa State. I'm in Ames, Iowa. Beautiful Ames, Iowa. If I could show you my POV out my window in my hotel room right here, it's just flat. It's great.
Ryan, do you live there now?
That's what people are saying.
Let's just give a really quick synopsis and recap. And by the way, this episode comes out on
Monday.
The 16th. After today, the 16th, tomorrow, you may never be able to leave again. So why don't you give everyone a very quick recap?
Let me tell you this first. I have seen Iowa State play 6 times between last season and this season. They are obviously 6-0 in those 6 games. They're playing Houston tomorrow as of recording this and coming out. It'll be 7 games. 6 of those games, and it's not just home games. I've been to 2 home games, both versus Kansas, and then Players Era 3 games, and then at Purdue when they were I think number 1 in the country. So I've seen them play, I think, 3 top 10 teams and beat 3 top 10 teams, and it could be a 4th if they beat Houston, which would be crazy.
Yeah, so, and you won a tractor.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I won. Well, okay, so I had to do. I got to recap. I got here into Ames, Iowa. I was here last year. They're my biggest audience and fan base by far. Shout out to everybody in Ames. I love you. Friday, I filmed with the team, with Milan Momchilovich and Taman Lipsy. We're hanging out. Those videos will come out later this week, I guess, as of posting this. And then Saturday was game day versus Kansas. Massive game for both teams. I was handing out donuts and energy drinks at 9 a.m. to the students that were waiting online all night. And then after that, I went to the game, and amazing game, amazing atmosphere. And I had to do the 5 and 35 at the under 12 timeout in the second half, which I got coerced into doing, by the way. I got coerced. The athletics department said, "You want to do this?" And I said, "Sure." And then I was like, I didn't know what it was. And then I was like, let someone else do whatever it is who can win a real for a prize. And then they said, "No, we already told our higher ups and they want you to do it." I said, "Okay, well, I guess I'm doing this 5 and 35. You get these green and yellow, weird, outdoor kind of quality basketballs, 35 seconds to hit 5 threes. And apparently only one person has done it all year, which is I don't know if they're asking for non-hoopers. I'm not this crazy great basketball player, but five made threes in 35 seconds. I did it in 15 seconds.
Well, I think you got the shots off fast. I agree with you, by the way. The fact that nobody else has you obviously did it well, but you missed plenty of shots. It wasn't there is room. My point is there's room for error there. If nobody else could do it.
Yeah, and I mean, I even hit a hezzy before my last shot. Do you see that, by the way?
I know you did.
I gotta be honest. Everyone's asking me, what were you thinking? What'd you hear? I didn't hear jack shit. I didn't hear anything. I didn't see anything besides the rack. Okay, and I saw Bill Self screaming at his team right next to me, actually.
Yeah,
but
I noticed that too.
The ball, you got to lock in. 14,000 people. I have never played in front of a crowd that big. Not in my wildest days, my soccer days. Maybe 5,000 max at a crazy state championship soccer game or whatever that was.
Shout out Manalapan again.
Yeah, shout Manalapan. 14,000 people. Once the first shot went up and it went in, I said, "This is gonna be easy." I'm not gonna lie to you. I was nervous. I was definitely nervous going into it because I know I can shoot, but I know that I get mentally I can lapse out if I start missing shots in a row. The first one went in. I think I went 2 for 4, 2 for 5, and then I hit 2 in a row. I had so much time left, and I was I pumped and I looked around and I had a little hezzy, and I was like, "This feels good."
So sorry, I got you sidetracked there. So, okay, so you want a lawnmower?
I want a lawnmower. And then with the dog shelter before, we're trying to get the dogs adopted. If your name's Iowa, you want a dog, go look at that Instagram video. And then now I'm here Sunday. I went to the women's game for a little while. I did an event here also with home field. And then tomorrow we're doing another event. And then we're going to the Houston game.
There is a legitimate chance, again, if they beat Houston and they do it pretty handedly, they may just keep you there. Like, you just may not be able to ever leave Ames again.
Yeah, it's a good point.
We love Ames. I feel like I want to come next year, but I don't want to interrupt the flow that you got going on. So I
gotta be honest. You have no idea what it's like me being here. I am not. I think I'm usually very humble about things. And I still am. I swear I've never been recognized more in my life. I go to the gas station. I go to get coffee. I go outside into the park. And now at this point, it's people just going, "Yo, nice shooting. Like, how's the tractor?" And I'm
this
just
is
like,
an Iowa State podcast now. We have no choice. This is just what it is.
They're great people. They love me. They love Jess. People ask Jess to take pictures, not me.
Good.
Crazy. So Iowa State's awesome. I'm here. We are recording. We do have a podcast too. Should we do that?
I feel like we should do that. And not only is it a podcast, Ryan, this is jam-packed because we have a whole bunch of stuff putting in that's not me and you too.
I didn't even let anyone know what's going to be on this episode. We have a Caden Pierce interview before his commitment, and now he's committed, but I'm going to air it anyway because people wanted me to air it. Also going to have a Fran Fraschilla. I met him. We met a couple times. He's here in Ames, so we have a little bit of segment on Big 12 focus with Fran, and we got some other stuff to get through, so let's do it. All right, let's start with news and notes today. We got a lot to get through. First one, Charles Bediako, no go. We don't need to sit a lot of time on this. He's not playing basketball. My only takeaway from this is that Amari Bailey has no chance to play next year, which is awesome. I don't really want to get into the NATO stuff. Like, I feel like it's old at this point, and it's in the past to me at this point. Is that fair?
This is a small win for the NCAA that they really needed.
Yes, they did need that. Braden Huff done for the year officially with Gonzaga. I don't know if that was as of last week, but this is our first time reporting it here. Not good for Gonzaga for sure. They play through the two bigs a lot. That's how it kind of unleashes their whole entire team. So that's not great for them. The biggest news as of 10 minutes ago recording this, Richie Saunders sadly officially has a torn ACL, and he's going to be done for his last year in college, which it sucks for him. He's a great player, good guy. I hate that. It really sucks for BYU more than majority of teams in the country than it would, because they rely on three guys. They have one of the least used benches in the entire country. They're already going down a slippery slope in Big 12 play. It's depressing, honestly, because I thought that the thought of BYU as like a 7 seed or 6 seed would be really fun. And it still is. I think Rob and AJ can still do some damage. They scored damn near 40 together in their last game and when they went to overtime. But it's depressing because this severely limits what they can do in March. Like, I don't even know if they can get to the second. They can get to the second weekend, but that's going to be it. Yeah,
this is a dagger for them, and I feel terrible for Richie. Like, it's just horrible news at a really terrible time, frankly. This is severely limiting to BYU's chances to make a deep run. There's no doubt about it.
It's depressing. There's really not much else to say about it. I think everyone teams can't change their looks in mid-February and get it go. Like, it's not that simple. It's just not going to work.
And by the way, I know you grazed over it. The Braden Huff injury is a humongous deal to Gonzaga's ceiling too.
It's just as big to Gonzaga as Richie Saunders is to BYU with that 1,000%. It's very similar, I think. Gonzaga goes deeper, but they don't go deeper in the front court. It's just those two guys that really play.
It's two of them. So
like
God forbid Ike gets in foul trouble in one of these games, they're screwed.
Yeah, they did take care of business versus Santa Clara last night on the sweep. Yep. A good Santa Clara team too, which is big for them. Staying in the Big 12 court, glass LED court. Let me get your thoughts first.
Well, I like it. I'm cool with innovation. I think people are worried they're going to pepper it with logos and this and that. But I almost think about it like on soccer, when you watch the LED boards on the side, how they just change every couple possessions or every timeout or whatever it is. Like, that's what I could see happening in basketball. It'll be cool for player intros, halftime stuff. You could do some fun stuff with it.
True.
They're not going to make it go crazy during the game. That is not what the goal of this is.
Obviously not, but I think the player intro stuff and the team intro stuff will be cool. And the competitions fans have to do a timeout, so it'll be funny and stuff. But the thing is that Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner, wants to make the Big 12 tournament a destination, as he says.
Sure.
By doing things like this that are innovative and by having musical guests. I hate to break it to you, Brett. The glass LED court and some random country singer in KC is not going to make it a destination event. What's going to make a destination event is the elite basketball, which is already a thing. That's
I will not stand for country music slander from you.
No, I didn't. It wasn't about that. It was some random. I said some random country. You're not gonna have a country star.
I agree with you that 0 fans are gonna go to the game because of the court. I agree with that.
I don't think it's 0. I think it's like 2. Someone will go and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go because of this.
So somebody who's in the LED business is gonna go.
That's fair.
Wait, who's the guy on Instagram? The guy who's in Asia, who's the crazy LED sign guy? Who's like, buy my sign.
Gotta be honest, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh, I'll send you his videos after.
Asian LED sign guy.
People listening are gonna be like, oh yeah, I know who that guy is.
Dude, there's no way. I have never. I feel like I'm chronically online, so I don't know about that. So I did some. By the way, I was critical of it at first, like, oh, I'm sure this will go great and there will be no malfunctions. By the way, it'd be hilarious if some random kid like hacked into the Bluetooth settings and was like, I'm playing retro bowl on the court during the game or something like that. It'll go fine. No one will get injured. I then did some research. Apparently, which this makes no sense, the glass court, the way it's textured is more absorbent to injury. So it's actually safer for players, I was told. So I'm okay with that. Also, last year's court, for the Big 12 tournament, had all the little XII everywhere. It was miserable. That was awful. So it really can't get much worse if you think about it. So I was critical right away. It's still unnecessary, but if it actually has some benefits to the players, I'm okay with that. I just think it's a ploy for more ads. So
I don't think it's more ads. I think it's more advertisers because they could interchange them. So like,
more ads
during a TV timeout, the Geico logo changes to this logo or to that logo.
So egregious, but I get it.
I like it.
I can get behind some innovation that's not like breaking the sport. As long as it doesn't break the sport, I think it will take time for them to shoot around a little bit more and get adjusted to it on the court.
Yep.
But who knows? All right, we got some more news notes. We're not done yet. John Mobley out indefinitely. Excuse me. Not good for Ohio State. Can we just do it real fast? Actually.
Yep.
Are they on the panic meter? I'm gonna put them on. They're not on there. I'm gonna put them on.
They should be on the panic meter.
I mean, they're in trouble. We'll do official panic meter for them later then.
Yep.
But John Mobley out for Ohio State. Caden Pierce, the boy, commits to Purdue. I hate to be to spoil some news here. You are going to get the Caden Pierce interview. I talked to him as if I didn't know that was the very high possibility during the interview, but I think it's still good in hindsight to hear his thought process behind everybody, and I think you can kind of hear that he was going to go to Purdue, so it's good timing for it anyway. Love the fit. He is from Illinois, Midwest kid. Alec Pierce's brother, hopefully going to get a bag to re-sign with the Colts, and I think the system and culture there fit him very well. I know he was heavily considering UConn and one of the other programs, so I think Purdue makes a lot of sense, and I think it's great for him, and I think he's going to be good there.
Yeah, you and I chatted before actually you and him got together, so the Purdue news we didn't even know yet. And we had run down the list of the schools, and I said to you, this is the most obvious Purdue fit possible. So
Midwest swing shooting white boy. Yes.
It just makes a ton of sense. And his brother literally is in Indianapolis. So yeah.
It does make sense. I will be going to Mackey next year. Again, you want to come with me this time?
Hopefully.
Maybe we'll go to a Colts game if they're playing in the season. That'd be sick.
It's on Mackey's on my very short list of college basketball environments to get.
I need to go for a game where they don't lose by 30. So
yeah, that's you know what.
Although if I go and they do lose by 20 plus, I am officially banned.
Yeah, I think next year is the official is Ryan Hammer allowed back at Mackey?
Did you hear that?
No.
That's recording inside of a hotel is terrifying. There's noises everywhere. Last bit of news: Sacramento State's going to the MAC.
Sac to the MAC.
So MAC State. The biggest news of that is we get Sac State versus Ball State.
Ball Sac.
I'm just going to be completely honest with you. That's peak. That's peak right there. I think this is actually crazy to me. This is happening. All jokes aside, I think it's hilarious, and the regional part of it makes no sense. I actually want to commend the MAC because in the era of college sports where the big conferences are poaching everybody, and then it's a trickle-down effect and domino effect. The MAC is saying, no, we are going to not only survive, we're going to thrive. They got UMass in from the A10 and all whatever sports and where they're all over the place, and for this year, and they have Sac State coming in now next year. The MAC is going to survive.
Ryan, it's football only next year?
And then is it everyone else afterwards?
I don't know, but it's football only to start. I'm pretty sure. Just FYI.
Interesting. I'm sure everyone will come over.
It's a college athletics podcast where we're non-denominational.
It's actually a college basketball podcast.
I do think it's really funny because NIU's in the Mountain West next year and Sacramento State's in the MAC, and they're just.
I forgot about that. Maybe they should switch. Thoughts?
Yeah, maybe.
Anyone? Anyone okay? Everyone okay with that? I say yes. All right, that's gonna do for news and notes. I think. Anything else I missed?
Loaded week.
Yeah, I'm Scooter's Coffee, by the way, not an ad. There's a drive-through right here. It's like a 7 brew type of thing. Fantastic. I'm buzzing right now. I got a double espresso. I'm buzzing. So we're moving. All right, that's news and notes. Let's get into the next segment. This week's home court advantage brought to you by Home Field Apparel. Let me tell you something. There's nothing more perfect of a ad segment. What is it called? Segment read. Segment read. So I told you the espresso is getting to me. I'm currently on a home field sponsored trip in Ames, Iowa State for what was the best home environment in Iowa State this year and maybe even years prior. We give it to Iowa State because I was here, I felt it, and maybe I give it to myself also for getting the crowd going on the tractor win also. But the Hilton is unbelievable. This goes out to Hilton Coliseum, Hilton Magic. The place is absolutely incredible. The environment-wise, like the fans and engagement is just as good as anywhere in the country. Think of like your Michigan State, Allen Fieldhouse, BYU, just the fans alone, not the setup and the vault, whatever it is. Like they're amazing. They are second to none. They're right up there with everybody else. It's an awesome place to go watch a basketball game. The flat roof on the building that looks like a prison from the outside, honestly, is perfectly resemblant of what is going to happen inside. And it ended up being great. It was 2-2. I think like 6 minutes into the game, it was gross. But the Iowa State fans started going. TJ Otzelberger and Bill Self both talked about it after the game. Once Iowa State started hitting shots, especially in the second half when Milan started getting going and Jamarian Bateman, the Iowa State fans started going absolutely crazy. It was so electric in there. Like it was awesome. Great game to be at. Great environment to see. You have still not been to Hilton, so
I have not. But I don't want to mess up the juju. Like I said, like I want to go badly. But you've got such a good thing going. This is not an Iowa State podcast.
Gotcha. I mean, it is basically. The bulk of the audience in this episode is gonna it's gonna be at least 50% Iowa State fans listening because I've just met 1,000 of them.
I was gonna say I feel like this weekend was a really big deal for your follower base.
If I wasn't doing well beforehand, I'm doing well now. There you go. Exactly.
Sure. We're up. Shout out Ames.
Shout out Ames,
thank
baby.
you for being so hospitable to this Jersey boy over here.
They're surprised. They say, where's the accent? I go, what accent? I'm like, you don't hear it? That's fine to me. They don't think I have an accent.
It's good. You got to take the gold chain out, do the hair a little bit, do your thing.
Yeah. Come to the Jersey Shore. Come to DJs with me. Then it'll be good. I told them if you get me playing like pickup or like soccer or something, get me in a competitive landscape, then you'll realize. Then you'll hear it. I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty good. But shout out to Ames. Thank you for having me. I love you guys. All right, we got a few segments before we get into the beautiful Fran Fraschilla segment and the Caden Pierce segment. But we do want to talk about some stuff before that. Big 12 stuff we're going to leave for Fran segment because who else better to talk about the Big 12? Iowa State, Kansas, Arizona, Texas Tech, etc. I think we'll be good there. First thing I want to talk to you about is Providence and St. John's. The Big East brawl of the season. Duncan Powell, or Bryce Hopkins, former Providence player from 2 years ago, by the way, mind you, at this point, on a fast break, going the other way, in a good game, in a close game. Duncan Powell with the reverse Ronaldo R9 haircut comes streaking down and just completely two-handed on his face and neck and just like disgustingly takes him down to the floor. It was awful. He got ejected immediately before they had to review anything. They had benches clear. They had a whole fight happen. And I think they had how many people got ejected? 6 players?
6, and then 1 later got ejected in the game.
7 total players got ejected in the game. 6 in that moment it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was gross. There are Providence fans and fans in general saying like, oh, like this is like, don't be soft. Like let them, like they're allowed to be physical. Like Duncan Powell had a chance to make a play on the ball. And I forget who it was. Someone on field 68 was saying like, oh, he could have made a play. And even if he got teed up and even if he got ejected for making a hard play at the ball and he missed, fine. But he did not give a rat's ass. And the best part is Duncan Powell and Bryce Hopkins have never played together at Providence.
Yeah, there's like zero beef between the two of them specifically. I know.
Duncan Powell just said, at this point, our season's over. I am going to take him down to the floor and the fans are going to love me. The worst thing I hated about this the most was that he was on the floor. They ejected him right away before looking at anything. They knew that he was obviously gone. He stayed out there And then he started pumping up the crowd. And like they're like revering him because they were all behind this. They don't like Bryce Hopkins. And that part, like whatever. The fans are gonna do whatever. But the fact that he was just allowed to just exist there and stay there blew my mind. Like he's ejected. Get him out of the arena.
Yeah, the whole thing was weird. Look, I love the Big East. I love the Providence fan base is. I think people see it now, and I think the people in the Big East and like most national guys know it. But casual college basketball fans don't realize how crazy that fan base is, and like they're not going to like this. I think they look horrible after the other day. Horrible.
I mean, yeah, but it's not their fault. Like
it's not their fault. And I know
they supposed to boo him going off the floor. I guess kind of.
Yeah, and I know it's, but no, I'm not saying boo him, but like this isn't some moment to cheer and like revere your player for that you did a dirty thing in the middle of a god awful season that you should be embarrassed about. I'll say it.
That's a fair point. I do feel bad for Kim English. As bad as the season has gone, he has no control. Right, and as much. Not credit, it's not the right word, as much responsibility as he needs to take and has taken for this team not being good this entire year, the roster he's built, the system they have, the lack of change during the season, 100%. And he knows that's on him. There was a point where this is all going down and he literally like turns around and like he just like has this disgust on his face, like head in his hands. Like he doesn't know what to do. Like you said, I don't even blame him for not having control of him anymore. And I got to be honest, like tell me if this is off. Is it too crazy to just dismiss Duncan Powell from the program? At this point, they're not their team and their season is gone, and Kim English's job is probably gone. Like, and that's disgusting. Kim English, I know Kim English as a coach. I know we've heard him speak so many times. He's not a bad human being. Like, if he got rid of him from the program, I don't think anyone would be mad. Besides Duncan Powell.
I think that the difference is that the fan base right now would side with Powell instead of Kim English because to them they've already moved past Kim English. I think for fair reason. So I don't think he'd be gaining it. Like I assume that Kim English wants to keep his job, right? That is a safe assumption.
Sure.
If he kicks out Duncan Powell, I think it's him admitting he knows he's gone. So that won't happen.
I guess I don't know if I fully agree with that. He admits he's gone. It's just him having some pride of being like, this is gone way too far.
Well, he should probably hold him out a couple games.
I mean, the Big East will do that. He's not playing the next few games. No way. He should at least get suspended for 2 or 3 games.
Here we are at 5:00 on Sunday, and there's nothing yet.
That's actually a good point. I never thought about that. It's 3:30 here. I don't know. 5:00. I don't know where you're getting that from.
Yeah. I rounded to the nearest half hour.
I don't know where you're getting 5:00 from. It's crazy.
It's 4:30. It's 4:30.
I don't know. I don't think it's more him admitting he's gone. I think it's more him saying no. Even if I am gone, I'm still going to stand on business and kick him out of the program. Yeah. I actually love Friar fans. I've taught like I love the passion.
I just expect better of them. That's all.
I don't really expect it. I don't expect
maybe I should.
and they know that. Like it's not really exactly.
But that's what they want. Like I actually kind of in like a really endearing way. I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud.
Friar.
It's kind of endearing, like the way that Philly fans want to be talked to. Philly fans want to be made fun of. They want to be told they're crazy. They want to be told they're assholes.
Dude,
they want to be told that they're too passionate. That is what being a Providence fan is all about. So I kind of think like this was a big moment for them. And although I don't agree with the way they went about it, they probably are very happy with the way it turned out.
The Eagles also won 2 Super Bowls in the last 10 years.
Okay. I'm not saying from a success standpoint.
So they're the Eagles without winning. That sounds awful.
Does not sound good. I agree.
Doesn't sound good. Whatever. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll keep an eye on Duncan Powell and Kim English. And I know Rick Pitino wasn't happy. Rick Pitino, by the way, thought he was going to throw haymaker at some point.
Yeah, that was they caught him in a funny moment where he was like, ah.
He was in the mix. I like that he gets busy in the mix. He's not afraid of no smoke. Let's go on to let's go to Miami, Ohio, real fast. Miami U, because listen, another week of wins, another week of being undefeated, and another week of people talking down on them because of strength of schedule. I have one thing to say about this. If their strength of schedule it is so bad, if it is so easy to win with such a bad strength of schedule, why are they the only team to do it basically ever at this level? Like there's nobody, there's no teams that go undefeated outside of really, really elite teams at the top, like your Gonzaga, Wichita State, I think did it one year, right? Kentucky obviously did it back in 2015 or whatever it was. And first of all, those teams haven't won the national championship. I'm not saying Miami's going to. I just hate the conversation of, oh, if they go 33-0 or 33-1, they shouldn't be in the tournament because they played nobody all year. People come to my comments saying they haven't played it. Someone said they haven't played a top 100 team all year. I said they literally played Akron, top 100 team. And he's like, but they haven't played anybody else. I'm like, no, you can't go back on that. You can't go back on that. I'm just sick and tired of people discrediting going undefeated. Look at Gonzaga. If you think the Portland Pilots are a better team than Gonzaga, you are sadly mistaken at any strength that Gonzaga is at with health issues. That just proves alone how hard it is to go undefeated in the regular season. Arizona's been the best team all year. Boom, they lose 2 in a row, and they're probably going to lose at least 1 or 2 more the rest of the way here going out. So I think Miami, no matter what their strength of schedule is, the MAC is a good mid-major conference. It is hard to win basketball games at any level consistently. Any coach will tell you that. Any player will tell you that. Crazy stuff happens. I understand their strength of schedule isn't good. If they go undefeated or whatever, they're not going to get like a 3 or 4 seed. Like, it's not going to happen. So I don't know why people are so against Miami and need to go against the grain so much. It just feels like it's such a contrarian perspective, and they just need to force that out there into the national point of view. But I think Miami's still another week of wins, another week of disrespect.
Yeah. Look, this is a tough one because I want Miami to be in the tournament. I think it's good for college basketball to have this story. I don't think they can afford 2 losses. So, like, if they lose one of these games the rest of the season, because they're not playing Akron, they're playing a couple 200-plus ranked teams and UMass. If they lose and they don't win the conference tournament, I don't think they're going to get in. I don't know if it was T3 or one of the other like bracketology guys on Twitter who was talking to you about it too in your DMs, like, or in your mentions. Same thing. Like, I just don't think if you have 2 Q3, Q4 losses with no wins to speak of, then I don't think that's going to be enough. So I agree with you. I would like them to. But you know what? If they run the table, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. We keep talking. I'm the culprit of this. Like, if we keep talking about if this, if that, they're literally like, I don't care. Also, Travis Steele said he's going to wear a Speedo on Selection Sunday.
And by the way, they're going to be outside of the UMass game, which is on the road. They're going to be double-digit favorites in probably every game the rest of the way.
Yeah. So, also, I do love, someone made a good point of this, is that like the national, because their metrics are going to be so wonky in their resume and so like very situational and rare, someone said like they need to do all the PR media work they can, and Travis Steele is doing that without people realizing.
He's great at it.
Instead of saying like, oh, we're just taking it game by game, we're trying to go win every game possible, obviously, he said no. If and when we go undefeated, I'm wearing a Speedo on Selection Sunday. Like, I think they need to do more. They're doing as much as they can of that, and I'm here helping you. So whatever selection committee person is listening right now, put them in the tournament.
Yeah, just keep. You know what? They keep winning. It's not going to matter. Can't keep them out at that point.
How about a team that keeps winning? How about the Florida Gators? Gator boys. The Gator boys are hot, and it seems like the Gator boys are staying hot. The topic of conversation I wanted to bring up is essentially one question: can Florida win the national championship? Do you think that Florida has proven enough in SEC play to say, you know what, everything is fixed? I think they can go back to back and win this national championship. Let me give you some stuff to enlighten you real fast. They obviously started off the season not very strong at all, but they're first in the SEC right now. They're 10-2 in SEC play. In conference play alone on the national landscape, they're number 1 in the entire country, the best team in efficiency and net rating. They have the number 1 defense in the entire country. They're number 3 in offensive rebounding and 7th in second chance points. I did some turnover margin research also in the non-conference slate versus the in-conference slate. They improved their own turnover percentage from 14.9 to 11.6. And on the defensive end, they were forcing 14.3% turnover percentage in the non-con slate. That's up to almost 16%. It's up to 15.7% on the defensive end. So their turnover margin has taken a damn near 5% flip on incorporating both ends of the floor, which I think has been the biggest thing possible on top of how amazing their front court is. The guards have been great. They had a couple of games where they got a really good game out of all their guards: Herb Klobuchar, Xavier Lee, Boogie Flan, Isaiah Brown. And the last 2 games, Xavier Lee is averaging 20 points a game, 5 assists, 53% from the field. Herb Klobuchar in his last 7 games has hit 21 threes. He has been absolutely fantastic, and he has been exactly what they needed, because it's been Boogie, Xavier, and them two. How they're going to figure it out? They started to figure it out. Boogie had it earlier, then Xavier had it. Now they're both kind of on and off a little bit, but been on for the most part. But Herb has been amazing. Having a third guard to come in and be a spark plug, or he's been starting some games. I think has been absolutely incredible. And they have the best front court in the country. They've had the best front court in the country the entire year between Condon, Tommy Houck, and Ruben Chinyulu, and then Micah Handlogden off the bench. Ruben Chinyulu is literally like prime Andre Drummond getting 40 rebounds a game. Alex Condon has a little more touch and finesse, good passer. Tommy Houck has been awesome this year. Like, it feels like Florida has figured everything out. I don't think it's just that like, oh, SEC is friendly to them because the SEC doesn't have top teams like you normally want it to. I think they genuinely figured it out just in time, because if this was 2 weeks later, I'd be like, we don't have enough of a sample size to trust it for March. But you have 2 weeks of February of everything going really, really well, if not a little more than that. And you're going to have the rest of February and a little bit of March before the tournament. Right now, they're on track to get a 2 seed. They probably won't be able to get a 1 seed because of the early season losses in resume. But I think I think it'd be stupid to say that Florida can't win the national championship right now. It would be through the front court and having at least 2 guards play great every game from the Sweet 16 on, which is not super easy. I still think that they're relatively volatile in that sense. But Xavier, Boogie, Herb, even Isaiah have shown me enough to trust that we can get good games out of 2 of them every single game.
Okay, so your answer is yes, they can.
I think it'd be stupid to say no.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'm wearing a hat with a gator on it, ironically, today. Not on purpose.
No, is it a croc?
It's.
I don't know the difference between a crocodile and a gator.
We're just gonna pretend it's a gator.
You go on. I'm gonna look it up. Bass Pro Shops logo.
It's not. It's Golf Pro Shop. Shout out Hazard Hunters.
Whoa. Hold on. Let me see it again. Golf Pro Shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hazard Hunters.
Now I'm not gonna look it up then. Keep
Shout
going.
out Hazard Hunters. This is a tough one for me because I think what you said is right. Like, even in this, they're one of the worst 3-point shooting teams in the country. Point blank, period.
Awful.
Even in the last 5 games that they've been good, they've had 2 games where they've shot under 25% from 3. I just don't think they can win 6 games in a row with that. It's not to say that they're going to shoot 25% in all 6 of them, but if they shoot 25% from 3 in 2 of them and they don't get the guard play, so I think they can make a Final Four. I don't think they can win a national championship right now.
If Todd Golden and this Florida Gators team get to a Final Four, I think it's really stupid to say they can't win the national championship at that point. Because if they don't shoot, they don't have to shoot great from 3 every game. What if they don't earlier on and they just dominate on the glass and take care of business?
I think what I'm trying to say is I don't think they're going to.
Okay, you're out. I'm more in because I think it'd be stupid to deny a team that has an entire front court and coaching staff from the team that won last year, and the guards are starting to figure it out. We don't have betting segments on here. Sponsor us. We'll do a betting segment gladly.
What episode is this? How many episodes have we done?
Dude, I don't count. I have no idea.
This is the first time you've called me stupid. That's pretty good.
I said I think it would be stupid to say that.
Yeah,
I didn't say you were stupid. I have called you stupid off camera many times. But I'm not calling you stupid right now because you're being logical. I'm just saying, if I was a betting man, I would bet on the field. I don't think that they're going to win the national championship. All I'm saying is that I think it'd be stupid to say that they can't at this point. You're saying no, they can't on February 15th.
I'm saying no, I don't think they're going to.
It's not. I said the question was, can they, not will they?
I know. I'm copping out because I.
No. Give me an answer. I said yes, they can. Can they or not?
I think Florida can win the national championship. I guess no, I don't think they can.
No, you don't think so. It's fine. You could just say no, and then I don't think they will. But if they do, we're coming for your ass.
Yeah, okay. I'd be happy to be proved wrong on this one.
Exactly. So we'll see about Florida. All right, let's get into the segments without Adam on the screen. Sorry, Adam. We're gonna go Fran Fraschilla first. Shout out to Fran out here in Ames, Iowa, and then we're gonna have Caden Pierce on to talk pre/post commitment to Purdue. So, Adam, I appreciate you. We'll be back with Adam in a little while for the usual segments. My good man, Fran Fraschilla. I really appreciate you being here for so many reasons. The broadcaster extraordinaire, analyst, former coach, Big 12 connoisseur, I like to say, Big 12 expert. Brooklyn, son of 2 coaches. There you go.
One in the NBA, one in college.
Where in Brooklyn are you from, by the way?
Flatbush, right in the heart,
okay.
right in the middle.
My parents are from Sheepshead Bay.
I was born in Sheepshead Bay.
Hey.
17th and Avenue Z, so ask them.
I'm not hip. I was good with Jersey. All right, so you have Roll and Roaster your whole life then?
My whole life. I can't believe you said Roll and Roaster.
And Brennan and Carr?
Well, you know what? I've known the Sullivan family forever.
Okay.
And so and that's who owns Brennan and Carr.
Yeah.
I love Brennan and Carr. I have to sneak into Rowan Roaster because
they
find out at Brennan and Carr that I went to Rowan Roaster. It's not good for my but I can't believe you mentioned those. Those are two staples.
Come on, man. Every time I go to JFK, it's Rowan Roaster on the way and on the way back home.
Parkway.
L&B maybe too if you want to mix it or something like that. I got you, man.
Gardens.
I was raised properly. Okay, we're good here. It's so coincidental that not coincidental. I mean, you were doing this game, but that everything lined up that I got to see you here. I'm so happy we got the time in between Houston game and Kansas game for Iowa State here in Ames.
Last time we saw each other, we were racing out of the Marriott Center after that
crazy Arizona, yeah, Monday night.
Arizona BYU. By the way, just want to shout out Richie Saunders.
Yeah.
Who, we found out BYU's great player, one of the best players in the country, tore his ACL on Saturday as we tape this, and we wish him nothing but the best. Great kid.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's tough for the team, for the player first. Like he's a senior also, and he has NBA aspirations. I've heard you talk about it on broadcast a lot.
Yeah, he's really talented and a great young man. So
yeah, exactly. We're gonna Big 12 talk down the line. We'll talk about a few things that have been going on, and then we'll do a little fun game or two. All right?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We're in Ames, obviously, at Iowa State. We're literally
places.
sitting in the cleanest locker room ever. Is that fair to say? Even the lockers, we open them.
Yeah.
Shout out to Iowa State. I've never seen a locker room like this in my entire life.
Not surprising, knowing TJ Otzelberger, who's a friend, who is a fanatic about doing things the right way. In fact, there's a sign here. It says, "How you do anything is how you do everything." And the locker room is obviously emblematic of how attention to detail is.
Yeah, and Houston's going to be coming to shoot around in this gym in just a few minutes. Exactly. So it'll be awesome Monday.
I want to tell you that last year I asked Kelvin Sampson and I have been friends for 30 plus years.
Sure.
And I said to him last year at practice, because I'm a connoisseur of practice.
Okay.
When I go to practice,
okay.
I can walk into a practice for 10 minutes and know whether the team's well coached.
Yeah.
So I said to Kelvin a couple of years ago, maybe last year, I said, "What happens when you have a bad practice?" He looked at me, he goes, "We don't have bad practice."
He's definitely a practice connoisseur.
And he's accurate, because when you watch Houston, there's no bad body language.
I was in Vegas. You were in Vegas too.
Yes.
Players era. We recorded with every team there.
Yes.
Me, Kingston Flemings, Chris Sinak, Emmanuel Sharp, and Isaiah Harwell.
Oh.
3 of them were freshmen in the beginning of their careers in college basketball, and it felt like they were just as much experience as Emmanuel Sharp. The way they're all locked in, the way that Kingston lights up. To be fair, he's kind of a one of one, but the way he lights up when he talk about things about running and the hard and the little things like that, they live and breathe it.
Yeah,
he's something else. All right, let's get into it. Let's talk Iowa State, Kansas first.
Yeah.
We just saw Iowa State, Kansas. Let's talk about Iowa State first.
Yeah.
They've had a great season, 3 losses all on the road, but 2 of them, Cincy and TCU, call it what it is objectively, are bad losses for them. Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. Obviously this is going to be released before the Houston game, so people will get a little taste of that.
Yep.
Going into the Houston game, what are your thoughts on Iowa State? What do they need to clean up? What have you noticed broadcasting their games a lot?
The loss to TCU doesn't shock me, because I always say, Ryan, in the middle of a 35-game season, I lived it as a coach, I see it as a broadcaster. You're going to have 5 games a year where you play over your head.
Yeah.
Like Alcorn State comes in, you're going to win by 30, but then you hit 19 threes and you win by 50. And you say to yourself as a coach, man, I wish we could have saved that for Kansas or Utah. Right? And then there's 5 games a year where I don't care who you are. Arizona just went through this, where you just don't play your best. And the key to an incredible season is winning some of those games where you don't play well. And TCU, last Wednesday night, that was a game Iowa State could have still won,
100%.
but they played poorly. And when I talked to TJ, Coach Otzelberger, on Friday, came to practice, I said to him, "What do you think about tomorrow?" And he said, "Well, we got our butts kicked at Kansas. We lost by 18. If we play well, we'll probably win by 18.
Yeah.
And I said, "Why?" He goes, "Because we're at Hilton Coliseum."
It's true. Allen Fieldhouse and Hilton Coliseum are the extreme of extreme best home environments that are possible.
The best environments. Cameron Indoor is great. There's some Purdue, Mackey. You were there when Iowa State won.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that Iowa State was ready to play, because I call it the psychology of the schedule. Mm-hmm. You lose a game like that in Fort Worth, and you kind of know, depending on who the team is, and this team I know is well coached, they're going to respond.
Yep.
And they responded beautifully on Saturday.
They did, yeah, and it's a good point of and on the opposite side of the spectrum, Kansas was the hottest team in the country realistically coming into that game. It was almost like the mean of odds, however you phrase it, you want to call it, where
regression to the mean.
Yeah, there you go.
Not that smart, but I've heard that.
We're trying. Kansas is the hottest team in the country. Iowa State off a terrible loss. in Hilton Coliseum. It's almost like it was meant to be that way. And now they flip and get Houston, obviously. On the flip side of things, because I've talked enough Iowa State on this and on all my videos and social media stuff just because I'm here and it's a good time, obviously, and I love them. But on the Kansas side of things, we got to talk about Darren Peterson for a second because everyone and their mother has talked about him.
I know.
But I want you to tell me from your POV, you're inside the buildings all the time, much more than I am. What are the biggest misconceptions that you think people are talking about with Darren Peterson right now?
First of all, I was around him in the fall. I came to practice. The day I was at practice, they were scrimmaging, and he hit 8 straight threes. It was crazy.
He's ridiculous.
And Bill looked over at me like, I see this every day, is what he told me. It's really perplexing because we know he's talented. I've been around him a little bit. He's a great kid.
Yeah.
When he is practicing, he's always upbeat, happy-go-lucky, seems like it. But I also think, like yesterday, and let's just talk Iowa State, Kansas.
Sure.
It's almost like he was shocked that Iowa State was guarding him so hard.
With the ball pressure and the doubles.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm like, hey, young guy, this is how it is. and he's great, and I wish him the best, and I think he's going to be obviously the top 2 picks. But I don't know. There's something there that I'm not sure about.
Yeah.
And
so you see that also. It's not just the people that's what people ask me. Like I'm an inside source. I'm like, I don't know him. Like we're not best friends at all. Right. But there's definitely something. He doesn't. People think he doesn't like playing basketball. Like, that's what they think about him. They call him DNP. Like do not play. He puts the DP in DNP. Darren Peterson, which I very much understand the narrative
do
between.
Any intelligent people say that? I don't know.
I'll be honest. Like everyone. Yes. The answer is yes.
Okay.
But the way they talk about him. But think about it. Between him being sick. Right before a game, him having small tweaks and injuries, him having muscle cramps, and then also yesterday is a great example in the Iowa State game. He gets 2 fouls early. I know Bill always takes guys out with 2 fouls. Fine in the first half. Second half, he plays 5 minutes, and Bill says, wasn't playing well, flow of the game. He's arguably the best player in the country, and they've had maybe ever talent-wise.
Yeah.
How does there has to be something? I'm so with you that is unexplainable.
Here's a couple things I noticed. He's not as elusive with the ball as I expected.
Yeah.
And I got to put this to bed too. And this is not a knock on him. It's just how some people characterize him. He's not Kobe.
No, it's
because of a lot of things. But he's not Kobe. Kobe's killer instinct was incredible.
At 18, 17 years old,
It doesn't mean he can't be Devin Booker or Shea or his mentor is C.J. McCollum. They both Northeast Ohio.
I see that in him a lot too.
Yeah, I mean he could be a big time guard scorer from the guard spot, but I'm surprised that he's not as elusive with the ball and creative. With the ball as I expected, but I still have high hopes for him. I said this in December, and we were in Vegas. I was with you out there. Anybody who said, well, the mock drafts do their thing. I
It's okay, yeah.
And there's like 90 guys in the first round right now because there's like 8 mock drafts. But they're just doing their job. But I mean, I can't even now pick who the number 1 pick is. Yeah, it's just too early. NBA teams feel the same way. Yeah. And I mean, AJ DeBonza's had an amazing year. Cam Boozer's going to be 20-10 from day one, and when he's 25, he's going to be 28-14.
And he's the most winningest player in realistically basketball history up until this point in his career. Imagine if he has a national championship to his belt. Like he has won at every single level. He might not be flashy. Yeah. He's very underwhelmingly good, kind of like the Duke team is. I like to say. Yeah. But it's a good point of people think it's Darren for the most part.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander won 11th.
Yeah.
And, Steph Curry went 7th.
Yeah.
And Jalen Brunson, who I screamed about because my son was coaching, was 34th.
Yeah.
He's likely headed to the Hall of Fame right now, the way he's playing. And Kingston Flemings could be the best player in this draft.
Listen,
Darius Acuff.
You don't gotta preach Kingston Flemings to me. I know you're a Houston guy too in Big 12.
I actually love Sinak too because I know we're going to jump around in Big 12.
Sure.
The thing about Sinak is, and this is what I love about both guys, and it kind of relates to the game tomorrow night in some ways. That both of those kids were highly recruited. They could have gone other places, likely for more NIL money.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because we know Houston's poor.
Yeah, by Big 12 standards.
Joe Tugler to go eat, he's got to use food stamps. It's unbelievable, When he goes to Chick-fil-A, hey, you take food stamps? Just kidding.
Joe Tugler's got more than enough NIL money. I'm not worried.
Just kidding, Kelvin. But the thing you love about those 2 freshmen and the 3 freshmen because of Harwell. They chose to go to a place that they know they were going to get yelled at every day.
Oh, yeah.
They coached hard. And the beauty of Kelvin, and a lot of people don't pick up on this. I did when they played Auburn early in the year. The day before practice, I was there. He screamed and yelled at Sinak and Flemings like the whole practice. And then he ran the first 2 plays of the game for them.
That's
and
funny.
Scored. And so
it's hard love.
It's hard love, and they also love playing for him. And I said this on the air: whatever money they didn't get in NIL, maybe took a little less. They're making up on June 24th.
In the NBA, that's a great point. Yeah.
With Sinak, they said he was soft. He didn't play hard. That kid's 6'11". He just turned 19 last week.
Yeah.
He's got a 7'5" wingspan. He's 240. He moves his feet well. He shoots threes. And he's as good a rebounder as anybody. Now, maybe not Tobe Awaka.
That's okay.
But Sinak's going to be a professional rebounder in the NBA. So
yeah.
Kudos to those guys and Harwell for going to a place where they're getting coached hard.
No, 1,000%. It's so funny you mentioned that. Chris Sinak literally, forget the exact phrasing, but basically word for word told me, and I have it all on video and short everywhere.
Yeah.
He said, I went to Houston, because I asked them why Houston.
Sure.
I literally said 99.9% of freshmen and players don't come here for a reason. And he says, people said I was soft, people said I couldn't defend, so I came here because this is how it makes you. And Chris Sinak has been, in the second half of the year, he's been unbelievable.
He has, but he's getting better and better. And the thing my NBA friends tell me, and I don't know where he is in one mock draft.
He's like late lottery, I think.
Yeah, now, but one guy who's supposed to be the expert has him 23rd, right?
Well.
and he'll move up because he heard me say this, so he'll move up. That happens a lot. But more importantly, I coached 18 NBA players.
Yeah.
I've seen a bunch of NBA players in my 23 years. And you can't go wrong with a kid that loves being coached, who's 6'11", 7'5" wingspan. He's going to play the first 3 months of his rookie year as a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
And he just and he's a great kid off the court.
Fantastic person. I love him. Love talking to him.
Yeah.
He's super bubbly also. I think that's the biggest part of the Houston guys is that they they're smiling, they're energetic, they love life. They love it.
Well, you know what? When you go to practice, as I said, there's no bad body language.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Oh, you're getting kicked out, yeah.
Nobody's talking. You know, the greatest story about Houston, I only heard this recently, and I got to know him really well. Kelvin Sampson kicked Jawan Roberts out of practice one time. Jawan is the winningest player in Houston history.
Yeah.
Jawan refused to leave. Said, I'm not leaving. Coach, I'm not leaving.
Wolf of Wall Street, literally, I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, and that tells you all you need to know.
I'm about to say, it tells you a lot about Jawan Roberts, and think about those teams with Jawan Roberts, Jamal Shed, Mercy Miller, all these guys battling it out in practice. It is absolutely menacing.
I call those guys culture warriors.
Yeah, I like that.
They're culture warriors. And it goes back to Galen Robinson Jr. 12 years ago, who was the first Houston kid to stick his hand up and say, I'm going to play for Kelvin.
I like that a lot. All right, let's talk Arizona a little bit. We mentioned them before. Arizona starts the season 23-0. Now they get into the heat of their really tough stretch, which is literally the biggest gauntlet of anybody in the country. Yeah. They go 0-2. They lose to Texas Tech and they lose to Kansas, who, on paper, fine losses. I have been on record saying that going into this crazy stretch, losing a couple of games will actually be a good thing because, one, it shows how resilient they're going to be, how they're going to adapt, and two, it's a mental thing. Get the loss out of your way before postseason play. That's fine. I also didn't plan on them losing 2 in a row in the beginning of this stretch. So how worried are you about them going forward? Because the games get harder and harder.
The only thing I'd worry about after last night is Aristotle is still out. I guess he's not going to play Wednesday. BYU's coming to town, obviously shorthanded.
Yep.
And then, Koa Pete didn't play the second half.
Yeah.
So that would worry me. Other than that, I'm not worried at all. If you gave Tommy Lloyd, and he can be very obstinate, I love him, but if you tell him the sky's blue, he's going to say, no, it's not. It's great. It's great blue, And, but if you know him, I think deep down inside he knew a loss would be good. Now, maybe 2 losses.
Right, he's not actively trying to lose games, but yeah.
But I think that going into the postseason, on a high is not good. You have to have a little bit of adversity.
100%. And every single team that wins a national championship at some point loses a guy for a little while. They face some sort of adversity. It could be anything. There's all different types of situations.
And by the way, I call all of this the psychology to set schedule, Ryan, because I told you about having 5 games a year you play over your head and 5 where you don't. This is all part of the psychology of a season and how coaches manage it. Even after they lost to Kansas, he said, I can't remember exactly how he said it, but he said, he told me before the BYU game, when you were out there with us, he goes, I told these guys, we're not going undefeated.
Yeah.
He already told them before they lost the game.
That's good. They're not thinking about it.
They're not thinking about it, and I think it kind of takes a little bit of pressure off, but they have to stay healthy.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Big thing I noticed today, I was looking at some of their statistics, is that they're one of the biggest, baddest rebounding teams in the country, big elite front court. That's how they win games. They don't shoot a lot of threes. Yeah. Their 2-point percentage and at the rim shots are absolutely unbelievable.
Yes.
Versus high major teams this year in their wins, I think it was like 10 or 11 wins versus high major teams.
Yeah.
They had an average of plus 14 on the rebound margin, but versus Kansas and Texas Tech, they were only plus 2. They're also forcing 13 turnovers a game in all their wins this year, and 23 wins, only 9.5 on average in those 2 games. So it feels like Texas Tech is not a big team at all. They battle because Grant has them battling, and Kansas is similar. But it seems like if teams can at least come close to balancing them out on the glass and take care of the ball when they have the ball and Arizona's defending them, that's the recipe to beat them and force them to have to shoot more threes.
Yeah, and the other thing I've learned in 23 years or so, for the most part in the Big 12, is, and I know they say this about every league, but there are incredible coaches in this league, and again, there's great coaches everywhere, but these coaches spend a lot of time figuring out like how to beat the best teams on the schedule.
Yeah.
And it has to happen that way. Like I've seen years where Baylor comes into when they're really good, and they will be good again. They don't have the NIL money, they're getting it. But when Baylor's gone to Kansas and got their butt kicked, they figured out why they lost. See, the great thing about the old Big 12 up until 2 years ago was round robin. Mm-hmm. Everybody played.
Get him again.
And when you went to Waco, Scott Drew was ready.
Yeah.
And they figured out how they got beat. And if you play a team twice in this league, that usually happens because the coaching's so good.
We saw yesterday, the Iowa State game,
Completely. And by the way, like if you talk to coaches around the league, and I'm trying to think of who told me this recently, they swear that nobody makes better adjustments than Grant McCaslin.
Interesting.
He's beaten Houston.
I love Grant McCaslin.
Yes. He's beaten Houston twice in a row now. He beat him.
Yeah.
He beat him over there.
Well, they split this year. But last year also,
That's what I meant.
Last year was the game where JT fouled out early and that stupid ejection on there when he kicked up,
And Grant got kicked out, and they hung out in the locker room. They ordered pizza, and they sat and watched like the last 30 minutes.
They actually ordered pizza?
No, not
really. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a great story.
I know. Maybe a chicken place. It's right near campus.
Okay.
But anyway, so there's some really great coaches in this league.
Yes. All right, speaking of, we'll end on a good one. I call it Big 12 superlatives.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give a most likely to. We're both going to give what we think based on team, player, coach, et cetera, okay?
Yeah.
Most likely Big 12 team to win the national title this year. I'm pretty firm on that it's Houston with how good they've gotten. Yeah. Their experience from last year getting to the national championship game with Emmanuel Sharp and a bunch of other guys. Yeah. Kingston Flemings, I trust almost nobody more in the country. I love him. Yeah. And their freshmen have gotten better and better and better. The Houston that we saw in November was not the Houston we're seeing now, and usually it's the opposite.
I think they can get to a Final Four. I worry about L.J. Cryer was such a closer last year.
Yeah, he was.
And Emmanuel Sharp is great, and Kingston's great. I worry about not having a true closer, even though I think they can get to a Final Four.
Okay.
I still say Arizona if they're healthy. And by the way, if they're not healthy, then if Texas Tech finally has depth.
Okay.
Van Boye's back.
He looked great this weekend.
Joe Mosley's back, transfer from Villanova. Texas High School Player of the Year 2 years ago. And then they got 2 All-Americans.
Yeah.
And then Donovan Atwell might be the most underappreciated player in the league.
I'm a huge fan of his. I think the way their entire team is built, Jalen Petty is one of my favorite players in the country.
The 206.
I love this dude.
You know what the 206 is?
No, I don't.
The 206 is Seattle.
Okay, I'm 7'3", that's all I know back at home, all right?
Jersey Shore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, the 206.
Seattle players are different, that's true.
They are, man. And Jamal Crawford's become a friend through the years. Congratulations to Jamal. He's been nominated for Naismith Hall of Fame, 6-man, probably best in history, except for John Havlicek. As soon as I saw that Jalen Petty was from Seattle, I checked in with Jamal, and he goes, one of my favorite Seattle kids. And Seattle has produced. They're like Philly. They're like Detroit. Baltimore. They're
nasty in the best way possible. I think about DeJounte and those kind of guys. Yeah.
They got a chip because they don't get the credit that like the L.A., Chicago,
and the West Coast.
So anyway, love Petty, love Atwell, like their team. But I think I still stick with Arizona.
Okay, that's fair. How about one Big 12 team that you think might have an early exit? Based on how they play and stylistically.
You can't count BYU right now because they're probably going to make the tournament.
And they're probably going to get like a 7 or 8 seed which in a game that's toss-up. So
and yet they still have 2 great
I don't want to play against AJ and Rob as a 1 or 2 seed in the second round.
I'll tell you, and I'll be honest, I worried about Rob coming to BYU. He's a great kid. He's a natural talent. And he showed that yesterday, 39. But now without Richie needing the ball, I think those 2 guys could get like 60.
They scored like 80 basically in the game against Colorado. So
I know.
Of the top 5 teams, then we'll go. Who do you think is built maybe slightly more susceptible than the rest.
I think Kansas, because A, you don't know about Darren Peterson, and B, to be honest, Florey's having a phenomenal year.
Yep.
But the rest of those guys are high mid-major guys.
They're thin. They're a thin team, which is okay. But I think in the front court for sure, I'm with you. I agree. It's Kansas, especially with Darren up in the air. All right, one player in the Big 12 that you trust more than anybody else in March.
Oh, good question. I would say normally, but he hasn't played well the last 2 games, Jaden Bradley.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard to go against that, though.
It's hard to go against it. Christian Anderson gets better and better.
Yep.
And he's got an it factor that he doesn't, like we saw it against Duke in December. Christian Anderson is, he's got ice water.
Yeah, he definitely does.
And by the way, I throw Kingston in there.
I 100% think Kingston. I also think Emmanuel Sharp's in there. Even when he has off games shooting the ball, he does every little thing possible. And it's very rare he has off shooting games.
He's not in any mock drafts.
He'll be an NBA player.
He'll be an NBA player.
Yeah, it's too obvious.
It's like Caleb Love last year. I had to scream about him. And do you remember when I did that? Because I was the guy.
No, I got to go back and look at it though.
No. I mean, like I said, I know a lot about the NBA for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
And Emmanuel will make the league, and Jaden Bradley will make the league also as a backup point guard.
I'd also bring up JT Toppin. He's the one guard that I trust. He is making the quietest case for National Player of the Year. No one's giving him the credit. So
he's almost taken for granted because he's like it's pretty much 28 and 13 every single.
And 20 women from the left hook on the right block every single time. It's ridiculous, and they don't double. Even if they do, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
No, he still has a way to get. He's a natural scorer.
It's irrelevant. All right, we got 2 more already.
Yep.
One coach in the Big 12 that you trust the most in March. This year, the coaching is so good. Yeah. You said it before. Yeah. I go to Grant McCaslin. I don't think there's another guy that is as with hard love. We talked about with Kelvin Sampson. Yeah. Grant McCaslin is all about hard love. He is into those guys in the best way possible. The culture is unbelievable there. And like we said, he's so adaptable. And the system he's built is gritty and it's nasty. Yeah. They're the one team in the Big 12 and if I'm not a Big 12 team, I want to avoid them at all costs. So I don't want to play against Grant McCaslin.
I would say for most of my time in the Big 12, it would be a no-brainer. I'd say Bill Self.
Yeah.
But his team's not great. I do think he's capable of getting this team to a Sweet 16.
Yeah.
But I would also say right now, a guy that, and again, all these guys are my friends and they're all great coaches, but I also would throw TJ in there.
Okay, that's fair.
Because of his team.
Yeah.
His team is really good.
And at some point, Todd Golden never won a tournament game until he won a national championship. Yeah. Scott Drew never sniffed the Final Four until he won a national championship. Right. Like, at some point it clicks, and in year 5 here for him, or year 6, whatever it is, it might just be the year to click. Yeah. All right, one team in the Big 12 you think is a deep sleeper?
Oh, gosh, man. I think, well, you know what? I mean, if they can get into the tournament, TCU.
I was going to say the same thing.
Too, man. They should have beat Michigan.
The game. They compete with anybody. They lost to New Orleans, but they beat Florida, and they might beat Michigan. Like, they are ridiculous.
And they lost to New Orleans because 3 seconds into the game, their big guy got hurt.
They still should have won the game, yeah.
They should have. I know that. They were down like 58, and they came back and lost by like a handful.
Yeah.
But if Jamie Dixon's listening, Jamie, if you watch, you should be watching this. Or listening.
Better be watching, Coach.
He does an amazing. I didn't think they were going to be any good at all when I saw the roster.
Yeah, same. And I still think every time they go out to play, and then they beat good teams.
They play hard.
They do.
And you know what? Here's some underrated guys. David Punch is underrated nationally. Yeah. Micah Robinson is now starting. They're both sophomores. Tremendous player. Levichis makes threes.
Yeah, like Tanner Toulson also.
Toulson is.
I like him. Yeah.
He should be. They'd love to have him at BYU right now.
I'm sure they would. Yeah.
His dad was a great player.
Utah Valley. Yeah.
And the other guy that's really good that nobody talks about is Xavier Edmonds.
Go
transfer. I just looked at it. You had your Ken Palm out.
Yeah. I come on. I always got it out.
If you look at your Ken Palm, he's playing, and he's a great kid, and. He's playing well. He's a 6'10" scoring. He's like a poor man's JT Toppin.
Yeah, and they have those guys, and volatile teams are very hard to figure out in March where you don't expect anything from them. It's like NC State when they went to the Final Four. It's like Clemson when they went to the Elite. You don't expect anything from teams that lose to everybody but beat everybody also.
But
it's like Wisconsin.
I see them as maybe being a first 4 team, or maybe
if they get in at all, exactly.
Then a 10 seed.
Yeah.
But I guess they would be an 11 seed if they were 4.
Who knows? Yeah.
And then cause havoc for a 6 seed.
Yeah. They'd be terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they get to around to 32, and then anything could happen.
Yeah. Hey man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on. Obviously, seriously, I
enjoy your stuff on Twitter.
It means a lot. I know we connected. No joke. This is not just because we're here. Growing up, I was watching you all the time. You, Jay Billis, a few of the guys that one of the few analysts I genuinely looked up to a lot. So this means a lot to me. Seriously.
Appreciate it,
man. All right, man.
I don't work for a living. My wife says they don't pay you to work; they pay you to travel.
Exactly. That's right. Mine starts saying the same thing. Exactly. All right, man. Appreciate you. Go.
All the best.
This is a first on the podcast, on the show. It might be a first time ever in podcast history that we have someone in the transfer portal during the season on a show.
Yeah.
You're the first.
I'm the first.
Caden Pierce.
How's it going?
We're here at Princeton, even though obviously you're not playing here right now.
Correct.
I don't think most people understand what your situation is. I don't think everybody understands. You want to do it, or you want me to tell them that?
I can do it.
Fire, yeah, because you played. I'll preface and say you played 3 years at Princeton. You're not playing this year, and you're in the transfer portal.
Yes.
Take it away.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'll try to keep it short. But essentially, yeah, I played 3 years at Princeton. Absolutely loved my time on and off the court. Had incredible moments as a basketball player here. Made the Sweet 16 my freshman year, which was awesome. Won Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year, freshman, sophomore year. So had tremendous success. And then after this past year, just kind of evaluated my current situation and also the situation of college basketball nowadays. And some things went down after the season with some coaches leaving the program, and as well as some teammates transferring out. And so ultimately just kind of decided that I wanted to still graduate from Princeton, being that I was 3 years here. I was 1 year away from graduating.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just didn't feel right for me to use my last year of eligibility here, considering all that went down and all that's out, the current landscape of college basketball. And so essentially decided to make both things happen, to graduate and to preserve my eligibility. The only option was for me was to sit out and finish out my senior year at Princeton and be a regular student for a year, and then transfer next year and be a graduate.
Regular student for a year is probably interesting.
Exactly, it is.
You don't do any of the work with the team and stuff like that. How old are you right now?
21.
So you'll be all right. So you won't have this issue, even though you're a fifth year of he's 23, 24, still. You won't have that issue next year at all.
Yeah, I'm young.
It makes sense though. I keep it simple for everybody. You wanted the Princeton degree. Realistically, I didn't even think about it until just now. You said that all. You've accomplished everything that a mid-major player wants to accomplish in their career, and you did it in 2 years. You won Rookie of the Year, Player of the Year. You went to the Sweet 16. You won the conference championship, regular season, and tournament. You've accomplished it all.
Yep.
And then last year, obviously, I don't even know. Things went down is a crazy thing to say. Things went down. I don't even know what that means.
Yep. There were some injuries. I was injured. Other guys were banged up, and just the season didn't go as well.
Okay, you made it sound like something off camera, something behind the scenes, so this guy did this illegal shit or something whatever.
No, it was all.
The core just whatever happens.
Yeah. Sometimes things just don't go your way. Injuries, guys just aren't playing as great as I didn't have a great season. And just stuff happens.
Okay, so. You're taking a gap year right now to get the Princeton degree, but you're in the transfer portal.
Yes.
You've taken 5 visits.
Correct.
You've done. Make sure I get this right.
In order. Yeah.
Oh, in order? Oh, fuck. In order. I have no idea the order.
You're good.
Duke.
Purdue.
Okay, go ahead. You go ahead.
Purdue, Duke, UConn, Gonzaga, Louisville. You got to do them in order.
The order, I have no idea.
You don't want to.
I could have went back into our text conversations and figured it out, but there's no way.
Yeah, you don't want to if people are listening, you don't want
it's true.
people to get their feelings hurt. So you
Sorry. All 5 of those schools are currently in play still?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to commit on the spot right now? Can I get you to do that?
Unfortunately, I can't.
That would be a first.
I would love to do that, but it's.
He's going. First person to Venmo is me. With commenting a school, one of those schools gets the commitment. Exactly. All right. Talk to me about the 5 schools, and then we'll talk about a couple other things afterwards. I guess you start with where'd you go first? Purdue first. Talk to me about the few schools, kind of the pros and cons. Take me through what it's like being in the transfer portal in the middle of the season, which is super unique.
For sure. Yeah, honestly, I'll start by saying all 5 of my visits, all 5 schools that I was considering they have very different vibes. But the 2 things, or really the main thing that I was considering when narrowing down to these 5 was I want to go to a place that's going to be able to compete for a national championship, not only because when you're at a mid-major school, your dream is to make the tournament.
Yep.
But when you're at a high-major school, obviously your dream is to win the tournament. So that was kind of my mentality. I have 1 year left. I want to try to win this thing, and then obviously, try to improve as much as I can to make the NBA or whatever it is.
In all 5 of those programs, doing the math in my head, they're all at the quality and caliber to at least, like next year teams are going to look so different, obviously, to at least be able to compete for national championship next year.
Right, exactly. So they were all, preseason top 10 or 15 or whatever. So obviously elite level basketball schools. So I'll start with Purdue. Yeah, I went to Purdue right around Thanksgiving because I'm from Chicago. And my brother plays for the Indianapolis Colts. So
come
that's
on.
a little,
For now.
For now, yeah. He's in a contract year, so that will probably go down in a couple months or so. I'm not
They
really
need
sure.
him. They need him, and he deserves a bag.
Best deep threat in the NFL.
Facts.
He's proven now. But anyways, yeah, Purdue. So with these visits, they're different than my high school recruiting visits because I'm older and I've kind of seen college basketball. I've been there before, and so I made it a point to make these visits shorter and just like
No bullshit.
because it's no bullshit exactly. For 48, like high school visits are usually 48 hours and kind of drag on a long time, and you do all the. Not that a lot of it is show, but like I know what you mean. Yeah. So for me, my visits were essentially I would go on a game day, I would see a game, I would maybe see shoot around or whatever went into the game pregame, and then the next morning I would have breakfast or lunch or whatever it is with the coaching staff, hang out with some of the guys, and then get out of there.
You get a fair feel by doing
that's
that.
all I needed. And so,
especially during the season, they got shit to do also.
For sure, I didn't want to be a burden, so it's different during the season. But so Purdue, I went. They played Eastern Illinois when I went. It was right after Thanksgiving. It was really cool. You know, Mackey's an unbelievable place. You were there
Crazy.
A couple weeks ago. They played Eastern Illinois. They won by 40 or so points, and not a single fan left early. Like they were there the entire game, loud. Students weren't even on campus, so it was a little bit of a different vibe, but it was an unbelievable atmosphere still.
Yep.
So Purdue, that's Purdue. They love their basketball. Indiana, kind of Midwest vibe. The state of Indiana loves basketball, and so.
You're from the Midwest.
I'm from Chicago.
You give. I'm just gonna be honest. How I see it. You give the Purdue Midwest white boy vibes. I'm just gonna call it what it is. Like I'll
take it as a compliment.
But you said like, oh, it's just different out there. Like that's because that's what you are. That's what it feels like. So it makes sense. You fit in well there. 100%.
For sure. I absolutely love the coaching staff. Coach Painter's obviously one of the best coaches in the country.
For sure.
Has been for a while. So absolutely love my time there. The guys on the team are great. And then shortly after that, I went to Duke. I saw a pretty elite game. I saw Duke versus Florida, which was kind of.
Did you choose that game because Xavier was playing?
Yeah, so I was gonna go to that game regardless because Xavier's at Florida and Jack Scott, who's my other teammate who transferred out, is at Duke, and so I was gonna be there regardless. And it just so happened that they had interest in me, and so they made that my official visit, and I was like, sweet.
Sure.
So went and saw that game. That was awesome, and then from there. Got a feel for that program. Cameron is
that game was crazy too.
Unbelievable atmosphere, yeah. And so, I would say Duke compared to Purdue. Duke is almost. It feels like it feels more like a professional environment than Purdue or some of the other.
Than anywhere,
Yeah, exactly. It essentially is a pro environment. They have a lot of one and done guys there. Whatever. The coaching staff's amazing. Obviously, Coach Shire's been doing a great job in his first couple of years. And it's just Duke basketball. Like there's it's
a different vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
It really is. I've never been down there and I'm hoping to soon, but it's a completely different vibe. You get that from in every way. Like you said, the pro organization, how they treat it and stuff, it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. So that was Duke. After Duke, I went to UConn. UConn's very similar to Duke, I would say. When you're thinking about it geographically, like Purdue is Midwest vibe. I would say UConn is very Northeast vibe.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've been out in the Northeast for a couple of years now, and it's very different vibes. And you kind of get that feel with the program. They're kind of no nonsense. They're a little bit of a blue collar program because they're out in Storrs, Connecticut, and there's not a ton going on in Storrs, Connecticut.
I hear I'm going there in 2 weeks. I hear there's nothing there.
Yeah, there's not much there, which is, to be fair, they play half their games in Storrs, half their games
Hartford, yeah.
Right. So, but yeah, they absolutely love their basketball there. All the programs do, but
No, they call it basketball capital of the world.
Exactly.
So.
Because not only them, they've won 6 in the last 26 years,
Insane,
whatever it is. Yeah. But the women's program is just unbelievable, obviously. Yeah. So I saw UConn play Butler in Hartford, and they won that game pretty handily, and spent some time with the guys and the coaching staff. And once again, they're just unbelievable coaching staff, and I really respect what they do over there. They've obviously had tremendous success the last couple of years.
You want to win national championship. You want a team that you know is going to compete. UConn's the first on the list.
Sure.
I think it's a fair thing. Everyone knows that. Yeah.
Yeah. So UConn was amazing. Really enjoyed my time there. And then, after that, I went to Gonzaga. Again,
talk about different vibe.
Geographically, different vibes. That's more Spokane, Washington. Not a ton going on there, but it's just amazing to see the program that they've built at. It's a small school. I think it's like 6,000 kids at Gonzaga. But Coach Few's been building that program for
20 years at this point.
Yeah, years. Yeah. So, and I think they just last year didn't make it to the Sweet 16. But
first time like 13 years in a row or something like that. Yeah.
Unbelievable. So they've had tremendous success there. And my high school teammate Braden Huff plays at Gonzaga. And so, it was great to see him. And they played Seattle U when I was out there, and that game went into overtime.
That was a crazy game.
Uncomfortably close, especially when I was out there. But yeah, Gonzaga was...
How sick is the kennel?
The kennel was awesome. But once again, it was a little bit of a different vibe because students weren't there.
Oh, it was winter break?
So, winter break. And so this is just kind of the oddness of my entire process.
Yeah.
I'm taking visits during the season, and it just so happened.
And you're not going to not go to Gonzaga because the environment wasn't great for the Seattle game that you went to. Like, you understand.
For sure.
And realistically, all the places you're playing at, the environments are great, the fans are great, the fan base is like. I think that's the question don't have a question about that for any of the schools.
Yeah, exactly. Every place that I'm considering absolutely loves their basketball. They're usually. Every place I'm considering is like the game in town. There's no real pro sports in the area.
That's a good point.
Yeah, if you think about it, Purdue, Duke, UConn, Gonzaga, Louisville.
That's a great point,
Louisville's probably the biggest city, but it doesn't have...
There's nothing else there. There's no sports teams.
Yeah, exactly. So Gonzaga was awesome. And then, lastly, Louisville was my final visit. This was a couple weeks ago now. And once again, just talk about a program that loves their basketball. They've had tremendous success, and there's a standard of winning there and a standard of excellence. And Coach Kelsey and the staff has done a phenomenal job in their second year there. And so that's a place where, they really like me, and they're amazing, and I can tell that. The one thing with their program is that they do everything with so much joy, and they are very upbeat in everything they do.
It's almost weird. Pat Kelsey is always happy and always like absolutely like going bonkers in the best way, which is insane to me.
It's amazing, and so it's funny because when you're there, I'll like ask some of the guys or some of the coaches like, does he ever have a bad day? And everybody's like, no.
Never shuts off.
Every single day it's like that. So that's
authentically real.
Authentic.
Louisville sounds like, honestly, we put all 5 schools together. Great program that has history of success for sure. They're the only program that is this almost. They're back on the rise, obviously. Ever since the Kenny Payne era, they were terrible. Pat Kelsey's been there for this is his second year, right? So it hasn't been like the UConn and Duke success in the last few years, but you understand the standard of success that they're trying to get back to. They're probably the one that's the up and coming non-top tier powerhouse as of right now, at least you'd say.
Yeah, I would say, but once again, they have national championship banners, and they had.
Sure.
I don't know if you can call it national championship.
No, they don't. It's fine.
I count it. Yeah.
It counts. They have the banner. It counts.
Sure.
They didn't take the banner down.
Exactly. It's funny. It doesn't say national champions in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says coaches poll #1.
That's so stupid. Are they not legally allowed to have national champions?
But you can tell in all their facilities they have room for a third trophy. It's just
so
not
funny.
displayed.
They had to take it out. It's so funny.
So
all right, so you got 5 schools that you're on right now. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, like, I'm not even gonna ask you where you're leaning. You're never gonna give that to people right now.
I can't.
You're not. I think I know where you're gonna go. Can I give you my guess at least?
Sure.
I texted you yesterday. I texted this to you. I was like,
yeah.
I feel like you're going to Purdue or UConn. That was my guess. And you're like, maybe it is one of those two.
Yeah,
sure.
I can't reveal any information.
Of course.
Everybody's
I think it's
subject to their own opinion.
I'll give you my opinion. I think it's Purdue or UConn. Purdue, the style fits you very, very well. You're from the Midwest. Your brother hopefully will be playing for the Colts out there. UConn, like I said, you just seem like a Hurley guy, seem like a UConn guy, the way they play. And also, I think this is actually an interesting point also. Take me through what it's like being in, like, what are the intricacies of being recruited in season and in transfer portal? Because recruiting high school players during the season is different because they have longer term outlooks and you have 1 year left to play, and you're a transfer, and you're one of the only really transfers at all that are in the portal and available right now during the season. So what has been tough about that? Like, what makes it challenging?
Yeah, it's interesting because, like you said, I'm kind of the only guy out there right now, and so when I first went in the portal on October 1st, it was hectic, to say the least, just because everybody was reaching out, and how
many texts do you have, give or take? D1 schools, give it a random number.
I probably had 30 plus schools reach out, that's a lot. But
any schools that you were like, you don't have to share them, obviously. They were like, why are you contacting me? You probably had some mid majors, right? You were like, why?
There's a few where it's like,
give me a conference. Give me a conference.
I can't put people on blast, but yeah, the process is just different being an older guy.
Yeah.
Because coaches understand they don't have to recruit me as much as like they do a high schooler.
Less glam.
Yeah, exactly. High schoolers are all caught up in, and I was probably similar. Like I can't act like I'm a mature yet, but high schoolers are all caught up in the pictures and the gear and all the wrong stuff.
That's coming.
Exactly. Yeah, I've been in college for 4 years now. I understand. I'm going to get my shoes. I'm going to get my gear. That's all cool. But at the end of the day, like, I'm there to play basketball.
Yeah. You said, like, you're looking at places that some of them are in the middle of nowhere. You're trying to win a national championship in your last year. That's it. Like, that's the main goal. So that makes sense.
So just being recruited throughout the season is a different vibe because, and once again, being an older guy, I appreciate, and I don't need to be recruited a ton. Honestly, what I enjoy doing the most is just watching the teams play. And so I don't feel like coaches need to be calling me or texting me every day or every week. Like, I can go a couple weeks at a time without hearing from the coach and understand that they still want me. They have more important things to focus on right now rather than.
But negatively also, like, they have a season to kind of finish out right now. These teams are realistically all competing for a national championship or at least final, whatever. Like, they're all trying to win a national championship, especially a few of them right now. Mm-hmm. So they're, focused on other things, so there's not a lot of time to recruit transfers in the middle of the season. And they also have players that are on their team that they're planning for next year, which also makes it tough if they add a transfer, right?
Yeah. It's difficult because in the current era of college basketball, you can never be sure what your roster is next year. And so some of these teams don't have a lot of guys leave, but then again, every year's different, and they could never know. Once the season's over, maybe they end the season on a poor note, and half their team hits the portal. Like, you can never be too sure. And so that's kind of one thing that's different about my process is I can look at the roster and see like
projected a
little bit, have guys stayed there for year over year. But
it's tough. Louisville is a complete 2 years in a row. They've complete roster overhaul because they've had no choice.
Of course.
And I think to your benefit, it helps with your style where you can play as a big guard, you can play as a small forward because you rebound well, you shoot well, you pass well. You're basically the Swiss Army knife. So you fit in very well as a complementary player on any top level team in the country. If you weren't like that, you might be more concerned with the fit and style because like Louisville or Purdue, whoever might have to completely overhaul their roster next year. Exactly. Like Purdue's going to lose their big three. Yep. Louisville is going to graduate a lot of guys. Gonzaga's going to graduate a lot of guys. Like you don't know who they're going to go after in the portal, but you can do your best to fit off like the style they're playing, whatever. And it's not easy. It can't be easy.
So going off of that, I would say when I've been on the visits, I've been more so focused on the coaching staff and the type of guys in the team they have. And how I feel like I would fit in with their vibe and their culture. And obviously their coaching staff is probably the main thing that I've been concerned with during this process rather than trying to project out what the roster is going to be like in the next.
It's impossible, Hey, man, I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
I'll do one more time. in order. I can do this. Purdue.
Yep.
Purdue, Duke, UConn, Gonzaga, Louisville.
There you go.
Those are the 5 schools.
There you go.
I said Purdue or UConn. That's my guess. I'll stick to that. You have any timeline also or no? Or just kind of like playing it by ear?
I would say within, I don't know when this is going to be released.
This is on Monday.
Monday.
Wow. February 16th.
Gotcha.
If that's a Monday.
Gotcha. So I would say, the 16th. Is that
a Monday?
Is that not next?
That's on Monday. That's 6 days away from today as recording this.
Gotcha.
I'm doing this right.
Yeah. I would say shortly after that, maybe in the next 2 weeks.
Just wait till after Monday so I can at least post this. All right? That's it. That's all I care about.
I got you. But yeah, I don't want to. I certainly won't drag it on past the season because the whole point of me entering.
To have the advantage of doing it in the season. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
hey man, best of luck. I'm taking a visit and we're doing something next year wherever you are. Okay.
Let's go.
Sounds good. Appreciate you, Doug. Adam, welcome back to the show.
Man, I pale in comparison to Fran Fraschilla. This is a shame.
To be fair, we're recording this. You haven't even seen the segment yet.
It doesn't matter. You already know how I feel. I love Fran so much.
What about Caden Pierce?
Yeah, sure.
I was so pissed off.
That's no shade on Caden Pierce. That is a pure Fran Fraschilla compliment.
Okay, fair. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do panic meter, excitement scale, schedule. No Q&A today because I was busy in names, so whatever. All right, panic meter. Let's get. Are you scared? Are you frightened yet? Panic meter. First one is going to be who should we start with? Let's start with the teams here first. Let's start with Iowa, who looked pretty good in the Big Ten. Then they lost to your Maryland Terrapins, and then they got their ass kicked at home against Purdue this weekend. Not a good week. Very bad week for Iowa. I'm at about a 7. They're going to make the tournament. They're going to be just fine. I just think they're going to be put into a pit of having a miserable first weekend and first round matchup that is not going to be fun to get out of. So.
Yeah, I'm at an 8.5 here. I love Ben McCollum. He's great, and obviously our boy Bennett Sturts. But he has no help. They have a win at Indiana, and then what else is impressive on their resume? They beat UCLA
that was the thing is that like they had lost to really good teams and then beaten the teams who were inferior to them, other than the Minnesota game, which was a crazy ending. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Like they could be a 7 seed, and there exactly what you get out of them. But losing to Maryland and then looking the same against Purdue is very detrimental. And now they go to get to play Nebraska, Wisconsin, Ohio State on their last legs, and then Michigan, Nebraska again. It's a really, really tough stretch. I don't think they're not going to play themselves out of the tournament, but I'm still scared.
No. They're not going to play themselves out of the tournament, but the style is so specific that they're going to need the right matchup to win games in March, and it's going to be hard for them to get that at this point.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, let's go to Clemson. They were looking good 20-4. Then they lost to Virginia Tech at home and then at Duke by 13, but they were down by like 20 at one point. I'm at like a 4 for Clemson. I don't really worry about them too much. You don't want to see 2 losses like this, especially the Virginia Tech game, and they really looked out of it versus Duke pretty early on, in my opinion at least. But they're in the ACC. They'll take care of business the rest of the way. I'm not really that worried. 4 might even be high. I think I'm going to go 3.
Yeah, I was going to be at a 3 also. Not because I love the way that they look, but these games haven't really changed my mind on them. Brad Brunell likes to be kind of under the radar heading into March. These teams are always the same, and they're always a pain to play against in postseason, in ACC tournament and March Madness play. So I'm at like a 3, unless things come off the rails here down the stretch, which I don't expect it to.
Okay, that's fair. Let's go to a different Tiger, another Tiger team, the Auburn Tigers. They are now 14-11 on a 4-game losing streak versus Tennessee, Alabama, Vandy, and Arkansas. To be fair, those are 4 of the top 5 or 6 teams in the SEC, but 14-11 with 6 games left to go and the SEC tournament, it is going to be damn hard to get into the NCAA tournament if you have 14 losses. Like their resume is going to be as good as it gets for a 13-plus loss team, but that is pretty dang nasty to look at. And I'm at about 9 simply because they're putting themselves in a position where they're probably going to be out of the tournament at this point.
Yeah, we're kind of lock and step this week. I'm also at a 9 here.
Stuff.
Yeah, they lost to 4 good teams. They might lose to Kentucky and Alabama down the stretch here, but if Auburn misses the tournament, this is a 10. So, and they're in danger of doing it.
They definitely are. A team not in danger of missing the tournament, but talk about it anyway. How about Arizona? started 23-0. Now they have lost to Kansas and Texas Tech, and they're going to go play BYU, Houston, Baylor, Kansas, Iowa State in their next few games. What is your level of panic? Because me and Fran just talked about it on that segment, but what is your panic number on the Arizona Wildcats? On your Arizona Wildcats.
Yeah, that's right.
No Arizona fan.
Wildcat fan. As always, shout out to Liam Stoudemire and Jason Gardner, my guys. Man, this is a really tough one. I think I'm at like a 2. And the reason for that is nothing has changed my mind that they can win a national title in the last week. So I still think they can win a national championship. I still think they are as deep as anybody in the country. And yes, I'd prefer they didn't lose to Kansas, sans Darren Peterson, but in maybe the best environment in college basketball all year almost. I say almost because the Carolina game was maybe better. And
no way. Are you kidding me?
Okay. Well,
in the best environment? Did you see Allen Fieldhouse? Sorry, not the point. We're talking about Arizona.
That's what I'm saying. I said, okay, yes, I said
Sorry.
Anyway, and to a Texas Tech team with maybe the best combo duo in the country. So no, 2.5. I still think they can win a national championship. This maybe this is a good thing it happened now, Ryan.
Okay, here's why I'm at a 4.5. Because I'll go 5. Who cares? I'm at a 5 because I've flip-flopped on them so many times throughout the year. I started low on them, then I got high on them. Now I'm a little whatever. I said before this week of games, it'll be good for them to lose a game or 2 or maybe even 3 in this stretch in their next 8 to 9 games going into the NCAA tournament. I didn't want them to lose the first 2. That's not good because now they're like, look at their schedule, who they've played up to that point. They really didn't play many good teams in the Big 12 at all. They haven't played a good team since Alabama on like the BYU game, I guess, but Alabama and San Diego State and Auburn and like really the great teams, UConn and Florida back in November. So that worries me that they were hiding behind a relatively easier part of their schedule. The turnovers they're forcing and the rebounding margins have been erased in these 2 games. So teams that can force them to shoot the ball more, that can limit them on the glass, that can take care of the ball and not turn the ball over against their high ball pressure and their length are going to be able to beat Arizona. Texas Tech has proven that. Kansas has proven that. Again, 2 of the better teams in the entire country, absolutely. But Arizona, you're undefeated 23-0, the best team in the country. The goal at that point is national championship or bust, at least Final Four or bust. So now I'm a little worried because now they've lost 2 in a row. Like I said, they have 5 hard games ahead of them, and then the Big 12 tournament. There's a chance they might come out with 5 or 6 losses all of a sudden, all in the last 10 games going into the NCAA tournament. That type of team is not winning the national championship. This is what happened Auburn last year, even though they got to a Final Four. I understand that. They hit a stretch where they peaked too early. Auburn did that a few years ago with the Jabari Smith team. Like, there are always teams that Iowa State did it last year. Teams always peak too early. And I'm slightly worried that this next stretch of games could give them too many losses. So I wish losses upon them in the best way possible, but this is not good for them. So I'm a little worried for sure.
Okay. I don't see them losing another 3 or 4 games this way. So that's where we differ.
Well, we're going to see it for sure. I'll tell you that much. One more panic thing. Let's change it up. How about Darren Peterson? Panic meter. Just Darren Peterson.
Can I
just take it how you will? Can
I abstain?
You can. I'll allow it.
I abstain.
You plead the 5th?
I plead the 5th.
I'm going to think about a number as I yap for a second. I think that there is more validity to him not wanting to play than I originally thought. Bill Self in the presser that I was in Ames asked why he didn't play down the stretch of games, and he kind of he's like, at first, like, of course he was going to get asked that. He had to know that. He said 3 things in a row that none of them coincidentally make sense. He said it was because of the flow of the game. He didn't play much the second half. Then he said he's been sick. And then he said he also wasn't playing. He's not been playing great. I don't know which one it was. There's no way it was all 3. I don't think it was all 3 of those things. I think he's just grasping at straws a little bit, and he doesn't really know what he can do. Because if he's not, like, I think Darren is in a mental point at this point that if it's not going well for Darren, then it's not going at all for Darren, and it's not going to go. Meaning he's going to not play. I don't know. I don't know him. That's speculative. I don't know him personally. I don't know his family or anything, or the people, the decision makers in the Kansas locker room and stuff. But I don't know. I'm at a Darren out of 10. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Do you want to know I think the bigger problem here is he's just following suit. I'm not an NBA guy. The NBA is sitting out guys left and right. This guy's out for the season. This guy's out. This guy's taking a break. This guy's doing that. He's just following suit of where he's going to end up next.
I did a podcast this morning with Cyclone Fanatic here at Ames. I don't want to go into the entire thing because we talked about it for a long time. I think NIL money is essentially what I was getting at, is that NIL money reaching these level heights is you're seeing the same residual impact on the player entitlement that you did in the NBA. And that's why the players are getting paid more than ever. 5 guys on the court, you know more about them than you know about NFL stars because there's only 5. It's become a players' league where I think college sports are becoming the same thing with player entitlement and them getting paid more at younger ages. So I think that's kind of the essence of it. But anyways,
so I abstain and you're a Darren out of 10.
Exactly. It's good fair. Good luck editing that, Evan. Then we got, by the way, Evan, not on the podcast today, but me and him been hanging out. We're going to coffee tomorrow morning. Evan, the editor, for anyone who doesn't know him. Okay. Excitement scale. Woo! Yay! Yeah. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
Okay. We talked about them earlier. Where are you with the Florida Gators? They are first in the SEC, 10-2. They just beat Georgia and Kentucky this week. I am at a 9 because the guards have been playing much better. I think that they can win the national championship.
I mean, I can't be as high as you based on what I just said earlier. So I think I'm at a 7.5. I do think that they have it in them to make a really nice run. I just think shooting's going to hold them back at the end.
Okay. How about Wisconsin Badgers? They've had some weird losses, but they beat Illinois and Michigan State this week, adding on top the win at Michigan that they had earlier in the year. Wisconsin, to me, excitement-wise, I'll say a 6 because, like I said on Twitter, they could win the national championship. They could lose in the round of 64. And it could be somewhere between.
Wisconsin can win the national championship?
No, they can't. But they can go to the
national championship.
They can go to the Final Four. They could go to the Final Four. I wouldn't be that surprised because they have shown that they can beat very good teams. I would bet very heavily against them going to the Final Four because of the fact that they might lose in the first round. But my point is that very dramatically saying they can beat anybody, they can lose to anybody.
Yeah, weirder things have certainly happened. I have been pretty honest about my feedback on Wisconsin all year. They're proving me wrong down the stretch here. They beat 2 of the best teams in the Big Ten, and they did it looking pretty good. So I'm at like a 4.5. I love John Blackwell. I like the shooting they got going on. They don't turn the ball over a lot. I like the attributes of the team more than I like the team itself. So conservatively, 4.5 here. Okay.
Let's go to, we talked about Florida before. How about South Florida? USF Bulls, coached by the man himself, Brian Hodgson. Shout out to Hodge. They are 10-3 and in first place in the AAC by 2 games. They have beaten Tulsa, the team in second place, twice. They swept them, and they beat Wichita State and FAU this week. I am at a 9.5 for USF because 10 would mean like, oh, yeah, they're going to do damage in the tournament. They're going to beat everybody. They can. The way they're built, they're like an Alabama junior. They're big, athletic, strong. They're aggressive. I love the way they play. They're going to have to win the AAC tournament. They're the best team in the AAC. I love how they play. 9.5.
Yep, I'm also at a 9. I love South Florida. I've been on them all year. They've been on the sicko schedule all year for a reason. I have Isaiah Nelson on my fantasy team, who's damn near averaging a double-double coming from Arkansas State. Like, they are legit. They are well coached, and I think they are going to be the team to come out of the AAC.
Okay, last one is a matchup this week that people might have forgotten about. Don't forget about it. Michigan versus Duke. How excited for you, 1 through 10, or however you want to rate it for that game?
10 out of 10. I'm at 10 out of 10.
What's up with your pinky?
Oh, this is my pinky.
Oh, my God.
This is from years of playing soccer goalie. Did you not know this?
Oh, my God. I kind of forgot that you went like this 10 and your fingers like that. Can I get a 10 again? Ew. Anyone listening, Adam's pinky is disgusting.
Yeah, my left pinky is fucked. Just soccer goalie, lots of years of not recovering a broken finger. I'm at a 10. I read a really interesting stat which says this is probably going to be the most expensive basketball game in Verizon Center history.
Georgetown, I'll say that much.
Yeah, I don't think it's called the Verizon Center anymore, but you know what I mean.
Trae Young, Anthony Davis might bring that back.
I'm just saying. So I'm at a 10. They're probably going to be 1 and 2. So.
Ooh, that's no. Yeah. No.
They could be.
What are the AP poll right now? This will be people who will listen to this afterwards. Michigan's going to be 1. Duke will be 2. Whoa.
Yeah. It's because it's Arizona, Michigan, Houston, Duke. I think Duke might jump Houston maybe, but
Oh, Houston's going to be 2. No way they jump Houston.
Okay.
Houston's
So
going to
it's
be 2.
gonna be
All right, Duke's going to be 4. 1 and 4.
Well, Duke's already 4.
Yeah, and Arizona's going to go 3.
You think? Yeah, I mean, maybe they pull down Arizona.
All right, so but it's a top 4 matchup.
Yeah,
all right, I'll give it.
2 of the top 4 teams could be 1 and 2.
I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9.4 because I think Duke's going to be 4.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Michigan will be 1. I think that's great. An unbelievable game. I think the fact that you're getting this game in February is not only great for neutral fans to be like, oh, it's a game you usually don't get. It's 2 top teams in the country that can win the national championship. You get to learn so much about these teams now playing against teams outside of their style and their conference, which I think holds some teams back. I think I've been adamant that that's why the Big Ten has been unable to win national championships, because they play Big Ten basketball for so long, and then they have to go play against an SEC, ACC team, and they're like, oh my God, what just happened to me? Yep. So now this is good for the teams. It's good for the fans to see that, but it's great for the teams.
Elite scheduling by Shire and Dusty May here. Elite.
Love this. It's great for the teams to be able to say, okay, we have to very, very much adjust how we're going into this game versus how we would in the Big Ten games and in the ACC games, respectively. So I think the fact that we're getting this game is incredible. A lot of size, a lot of rebounding, a lot of NBA talent, a lot of athleticism, 2 fantastic, young, innovative coaches. This is going to be maybe the most hyped game all year long. I got to be completely honest with you. This is probably the most anticipated game there will be in college basketball this season in the regular year. I maybe Houston, Arizona also.
Yeah. College game day, by the way, in a neutral site, Washington, D.C. Got to love it.
Are they doing that?
Yeah.
How is that going to work? Oh, they're inside. That's why.
Yeah.
That's gonna. But what fans get to go do it?
Everybody. I don't know.
That's kind of cool. I'm actually okay with that.
I don't
know.
Although
I like the campus stuff, though.
Maybe Jay Williams just takes the half-court shot for money. I have no idea what happened.
He takes it anyway. Every week he takes one anyway. And he misses it every time, I feel like.
He does take it.
He takes one anyway, which is kind of hilarious. All right, let's do schedule. Let's get out of here because we got a lot of stuff going on today. Here's your homework. March is near. Bracket. Selection Sunday is near. Here is your homework. You got to study up because finals are coming up soon. This is kind of like midterms. Main schedule, Houston at Iowa State on Monday night. That's tonight. I will be there for that one. Again, Tuesday night, you got Michigan at Purdue, North Carolina, NC State, although maybe I should take that one off after this week, but North Carolina, NC State, Miami, UMass, Miami, U at UMass, Louisville, SMU, UCLA, Michigan State, Wisconsin, Ohio State, Nebraska, Iowa. And then on Wednesday, you got Arkansas, Bama, BYU, Arizona, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Vandy, Mizzou, and Illinois, USC. Friday, you got VCU, St. Louis. I'm going to be at that one, too. That's news to everyone. I'm going to St. Louis for that game. Indiana, Purdue, Bowling Green at Miami. And then Saturday on the weekend, you got Miami, University of Miami against UVA, Tennessee, Vandy, Arizona, Houston. Oh, my God. UConn, Nova, Michigan, Duke, Illinois, UCLA, Kentucky, Auburn, Iowa State, BYU. And then Sunday, Ohio State, Michigan State, and Iowa, Wisconsin. Adam, I got to be honest with you here. No joke, looking at the entire slate of games this week, this might be the best slate in the entire calendar year in the college basketball season. It's going to be unbelievable.
The weekend is so good. I am beyond jealous of your VCU St. Louis day trip.
Let's go.
Cow. I know. It's not going to work.
You can still come.
I can't. I'm on all 3 kid duty for the weekend, for the whole
weekend.
Okay,
fire away. Give me some sicko stuff.
Sicko stuff. We're getting nitty gritty here. This is to win the conference regular season title. So there's going to be some names on here, Ryan, you have not heard all season long. Monday, South Alabama at Marshall, Stephen F. Austin at Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
The Islanders.
Tuesday, SEMO at UT Martin, our guys.
Let's go Hawks!
At the top of the OVC. Huge
we have to be impartial, but I don't know how we can be impartial.
It's a huge game for them.
Yeah.
Wednesday, UAB at Temple in the AAC. Thursday, USF at Memphis in the AAC. There is a log jam at the top there.
Memphis, Friday, by the way. Siena, sorry. Before you go to Siena, Memphis,
yeah.
Sorry. That's all I wanted to say. Memphis.
Friday, Siena and Merrimack. Fun one locally here. LIU Brooklyn at Mercyhurst on Saturday, also local here.
Go Sharks.
Winthrop at High Point. One of the best games of the entire year in mid-major land.
Yeah.
To probably win the conference. And my personal favorite here, Vermont at NJIT, Ryan. Coach Grant Billmeyer, Seton Hall, Maryland ties, has NJIT atop the conference, looking to make the tournament for the first time ever.
They're in first place right now?
They are in first place, Ryan.
Whoa. I might have to get to an NJIT game. I might have to go to that game.
Coach Grant. Tell Coach Grant I said what's up. And then we finish off with UCSB at Hawaii in a really top-heavy Big West, excuse me.
Man, it's not just the double espresso to me right now. I'm juiced up for this week of college basketball. I'm so excited. I cannot believe this. I'm exhausted at the same time from being out here, but this has been absolutely electric. I'm so excited for the next few weeks of the season leading up into March. We got a lot of fun stuff coming. That's going to do it for this episode. No Q&A today. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow, etc. If you're new, because I know there are a lot of new people today, Iowa State fans, everybody, hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure to like and subscribe, give a review. It doesn't have to be 5 stars. You can be honest, but I would like it to be 5 stars.
Wait, where's my pinky? 5 stars.
Oh, gross.
4.5 stars. Like
Wait, listen, we've talked about ex-Arizona players and your pinky and Ames, Iowa more than ever today.
Let's go. So, stay with us.
Stay with us. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great week. See ya.